Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Football Fridays with Rashad Mitchell. Football Friday with Rashad Mitchell. Let's get into it on the YouTube channel, on mine that I have. Let's get into it. Break down last week's games, college football and NFL. Let's get into it. Let's start with Saturday's games. Not that many upsets that took place this in top 25 by what I see. But Florida State, even though they wasn't ranked, they 0-3 as they lost last week to Memphis 20-12. Florida State continues to struggle, still don't have no win after 3 weeks. And they continue to struggle offensively. So they're 0-3. I think that's a surprise because though we thought they would be 0-3 after 3 games. They lost to Georgia Tech August 24th. Then they lose the next game on Labor Day 2013 to Boston College. Then coming off of that loss, they lose at home again to Memphis 20-12. So there's something going on in Tallahassee where they're not just clicking on all cylinders. They're not playing at a high level caliber football. Quarterback DJ Ugalele is just not that guy that's getting it done. So I think that was a big surprise. Them losing last week. Still don't have a win. There was a lot of expectations with Florida State going into the season. They was ranked number 10 in the country. And they have not lived up to the hype, the expectations of what they're supposed to be. So that was a big surprise. But outside of that, there's no upsets last week. Mostly everybody, got off to a great start. Their business. The only thing that was surprising was number 1 Georgia was no longer number 1. They now number 2. Texas, the new number 1, is that they barely beat the University of Kentucky 13-12. They maintained their winning streak. They preserved it, winning 42 in a row and 28 straight in the SEC. So that's the thing that stood out with that matchup. They only won by 1 point. The offense wasn't as good as it usually is. They ended up losing and winning 13-12. So that's the only thing that was surprising in the top 25. What was that? Back to Florida State, man, with them losing. The quarterback from this has played well. He's in his under center. The quarterback Seth Hennigan threw 2 touchdown passes, 272 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. 40 straight game that he has throwing a touchdown passes. They won in Tallahassee 20-12. So that's a standard thing. So Memphis is 3-0. Florida State's 0-3. So it's back to the top 25. Let's go over the scores of the games from last week. Like I said, there was no upsets last week. Alabama beat Wisconsin 42-10. Not surprised there. LSU barely held on and beat South Carolina in a close one, 36-33. Michigan beat Arkansas State 20-18. Impressive win by University of Missouri, number 16 in the country, beating number 24, Boston College, 27-21. Impressive win by Oregon, beat Oregon State, an arch rival, 49-14. But there's no like shockers. Mostly the ranked teams won, the higher ranked teams. Hell, they did this. So let's keep moving. Let's look forward to week 4. Currently, right now, in the third quarter, this is about ranked teams. Illinois is losing, number 24 team in the country. They are losing right now. It's number 22 Nebraska, 17-10. but Illinois is on the move. They have their ball on their own 43-yard line. 6:55 to go in the third quarter. Let's look at my picks of the week last week. Well, it was 5-0 last week. So we recap. Okay, so I was 5-0 last week. Didn't get any of these games wrong. Alabama beat Wisconsin. Oregon beat Oregon State. Miami beat Ball State. Georgia beat Kentucky. And Missouri beat Boston College. So let's fast forward to week 4. Over on 15-4 with the picks. So week 4 picks of the week, I got Miami over South Florida. USC over Michigan. Tennessee over Oklahoma. Nebraska over Illinois, which they're playing on right now. There's 4 games that I picked for tomorrow. Miami over South Florida, USC over Michigan, Tennessee over Oklahoma, Oklahoma State over Utah. But tonight's game I picked Nebraska, who now is winning by a touchdown, 17-10 over Illinois. So tomorrow we got some very interesting games. Definitely the USC Michigan matchup is great. Obviously USC is part of the Big Ten. That's an interesting game. UCLA, LSU, interesting. Even Utah versus Oklahoma State is interesting. Number 12 versus number 14. How's Tennessee against Oklahoma, number 6 versus number 15. Those some of the games are really, really good. Again, Texas Longhorns are the new number 1. Arch Manning is going to get his first start. Quinn Ewers is out with an injury, so he's going to start for the first time. Texas against Louisiana Monroe. This Louisiana Monroe. Just want to check it for that name UL. I stand for Louisiana Monroe. Yeah, Louisiana Monroe. So that's the team that Texas will be playing tomorrow. Texas number 1 team in the country. Arch Manning was his first start. so those are the games that's going to be played tomorrow. Um, Again, very interesting slate of games. Even though Kansas State versus BYU is an interesting game. Battle of unbeaten's. Maybe a possible upset, possibly. So we'll see what happens. All right, so let's look at the college football landscape of things. Let's get to the National Football League recap of last week. Which was a very bizarre, surprising week in the National Football League. Before I get into that, we got some headlines. 49ers are very banged up. They look like they're going to be having George Kittle playing this game. Two of their top defenders may not be playing this game against the Rams. We're dealing with injuries as well. Bosa may be out. They listed as questionable with injury for Bosa. Javarius Ward, he has an injury, hamstring, knee soreness. George Kittle is dealing with a hamstring. He may not go. Yesterday, started week 3. We had the Jets win 24-3. And Rod's looked really, really solid in his business. So, right, let's look back at last week's game. It's very bizarre, man. The Ravens losing to the Raiders, blowing a 10-point lead. It was up 23-13, lose a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, lose the game 26-23. Giving up 3 fourth-quarter scoring drives to the office of Gardner Minshew and the Raiders. And they win the game 26-23. So Daniel Carlson hits a 38-yard field goal. Now Ravens are in uncharted territory. They are 0-2. Something they're not used to, especially with a team that's got a lot of expectations. The Browns beat the Jaguars 18-13. Cleveland not impressive, but they did a great job against Trevor Lawrence, and his offense holding 13 points. And just needed Deshaun Watson to run for a touchdown. Justin Hopkins, the kicker, hit 3 field goals. Steve's defense, that was good enough. Browns defense sacked Trevor Lawrence 4 times. So they handled their business and they were able to win 18-13. Jets beat the Titans 24-17. The 49ers lost again to the Vikings for the 8th straight time in Minnesota. They just don't play well in Minnesota. Sam Darnold's playing very well. Like he's found his niche at the bouncing around with so many teams. He's definitely playing at a high level right now. He's only 27, so he definitely has a lot left in him to revolutionize and revitalize his career. After being drafted, he's drafted by the Jets 6 years ago. He's in his 7th season. Sometimes you gotta find that right niche, that right team to flourish, and that's what he's doing right now. See if he can keep it up. He played Texas on Sunday. It's a good game. But for the 49ers, they couldn't stop. Justin Jefferson, 97-yard touchdown. I just didn't have Christian McCaffrey, and they're banged up. Like I said, George Kittle may not be playing. Ward and Bosa may be out due to injury, possibly. So there are a lot of injuries. Chargers beat the Panthers 26-3, no surprise there. Seattle beat the Patriots 23-20, no surprise there. The Saints beat the Cowboys 44-19. Big time performance by the Saints. They're off to the 2-0 start. They snapped a 16-game home winning streak by the Cowboys, winning 44-19. Alvin Kamara was the catalyst, man. He scored 3 rushing touchdowns, including the touchdown pass, 115 yards rushing, and 20 carries, 2 touchdown passes for Derek Carr. They just dominated the Cowboys, man. Just did hell in their business. The Giants beat the Commanders by score. Excuse me. The Commanders beat the Giants. So by score 21-18. A game that the Giants should have won. They didn't have their field goal kicker. He got hurt. Despite them losing, they did have 95 yards rushing by Singletary, 2 touchdown passes by Daniel Jones. League neighbors, the rookie sensation, had 10 catches, 127 yards. But he did in a touchdown, but unfortunately he dropped the key pass on 4th down as he went for the Giants. And he was unable to catch it. He dropped the pass. As they turned the ball off on downs, a key pass they shouldn't have dropped. The Giants made history for all the wrong reasons. Number one, the Giants became the second team ever in NFL history to score 3 touchdowns and not allow an offensive touchdown and still lose the game. So they're the second team to do that. The first team to do it was go back to 1989 when the Vikings played the Rams. That's the last time something like that happened. Where a team scored 3 touchdowns, didn't allow a touchdown, still win. We still lose. Still lose the game. That's how strange that game was last week. Because when you do your job on defense, you score 3 touchdowns offensively, but you still don't win the game. You're on the wrong side of history. You score 3 touchdowns, allow no touchdowns, and lose. They're the second team to do it. So that's a strange way to be on the wrong side of history. Back in 1989, 35 years ago, the Vikings beat the Rams 23-21. Rich Carlis, the Vikings kicker, kicked 7 field goals in regulation. The Rams scored 3 touchdowns, 3 extra points to make it 21-21. And then in the fourth quarter, went to overtime. The Vikings scored on a safety to win 23-21. It can happen 35 years later. Strange way to lose. That's when you're a bad team, you find ways to lose games that you should not have lost. Okay, so team wanted to run down week 2 games in the NFL. I was surprised that Buccaneers beat the Lions 2016. You're correct, the Lions did have great performance by Hutchinson, 4.5 sacks. They still lose the game. The Packers beat the Colts 16-10, no surprise there. Great performance by the Cardinals against the Rams. As rookie sensation Marvin Harrison Jr. had 4 catches for 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he's the reason why he was drafted so high, because of performances like that. Steelers go to 2-0. Not playing great offense, but definitely playing well defensively as they beat the Broncos 13-6 on the road. And no surprise here, the Bengals and the Chiefs, when they get together, it always comes down to the wire. 4th down 16, Mahomes tried to scramble out, tried to give a pass up, and he did, and got the break. Pass interference. The pass was intended for Rashad Rice, and he was able to hit a field goal. Harrison Buckner may be the best clutch kicker in the league. Harrison Buckner, he hit it 51 yards for the winner. They go 2-0. Chiefs not playing like their best football right now, but they just 2-0, finding ways to win. 4th down 16 from the Kansas City 35, and Rice got hit from behind. Anthony arrived too late. Anthony, the safety, so that set him up for the field goal. Pass it to Rashad Rice. They get there too early, but he did, and they win the game 26-25. And then Sunday night, the Texans beat the Bears 19-13, and a surprise on the Falcons beating the Eagles 22-21. That was a shocker. Capitalizing a very upset-filled, surprising week 2 in the NFL, as the Eagles lose 22-21. Kirk Cousins had a winning drive that led to Drake London catching the touchdown pass. They win 22-21, but also the key part of this game is that the Eagles should have sealed the deal. If Saquon Barkley would have caught a pass from Jalen Hurts, that would have sealed the game. He dropped it with 1:46 to go and itself for a field goal. So, and also look at the Eagles defense. They're playing very soft in coverage. That's a head scratcher. So they lose that game. Now I didn't do well in my picks this week. I was pretty bad. Um, I just wasn't good. I was 2-3. 3 losses I had. The Giants lost. Detroit, they lost. I had them winning. I was dead wrong on that. And the 49ers beat the Vikings. I was wrong on that. One games I got right was Jets over Titans and the Texans over Bears. So 2-3 overall, 6-4. Let's fast forward to week 3 picks. I got the Giants over the Browns. It's a must win for the Giants. Ravens over the Cowboys. It's a must win for the Ravens. They're 0-2. Eagles over the Saints. I think the Eagles will bounce back. Texans over the Vikings. It's a good game. Battle of unbeatens. And Lions over the Cardinals. Right, let's quickly get into the breakdown for this week. What you need to know. Stuff like that. These matchups. I'm going to go to update on the Illinois versus Nebraska game 17-16. It's tied at 17-17. Good game in Lincoln, Nebraska. Battle of ranked teams, battle of unbeaten teams. Number 24 Illinois, number 22 Nebraska. And it's a tie game at 17-17. Let's get to the what you need to know about these matchups for week 3 of the NFL season. Then I'll be done with the show for the night. Okay, we're gonna start with the Giants, man. The Giants are 0-2 against the Browns. It's a must win. When you look at the Giants, man, they are trying to avoid starting 0-3 for the fifth time in the past 12 years. When you look at the Giants, they finished 7-9 in 2013, 3-13 in 2017, 6-10 in 2020, and 4-13 in 2021. So you see what happens, how the Giants can avoid going 0-3 for the fifth time in 12 years, man. That's a lot of 0-3s. For the Browns, you gotta keep your eyes on is how much the offense of the Browns is going to improve offensively. But they didn't do so well offensively last week. They scored 18 points, but they got a chance to do some big things against the Giants, who have given up league worst 20 explosive plays. Unfortunately, the Browns offense only produced 9 explosive plays through 2 games. So that knows that the Browns quarterback, Deshaun Watson, has gone 14 straight games without throwing for 300 plus passing yards. It's the longest streak of his career and the second longest active streak behind Aaron Rodgers, 24. Keep your eyes on that game. Packers and the Titans. Packers travel to Tennessee. Will Jordan Love play? Will he play in this game? We'll see. Expect Josh Jacobs to be part of this offensive plan. He topped 100 yards from scrimmage. He'd be the first Packers running back with 100 plus yards from scrimmage in the first 3 games of the season since Ahman Green did it in 2004. So Titans, their storyline has to be the defensive end. They have not gotten a takeaway yet in the first 2 games. They're -4 turnover differential. They're dead last in the league, while the Packers are on top with a +4 differential. And Tennessee's -4 turnover differential. They're in the minus. So you look for them to try to get some turnovers. Staff knows that the Titans wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins has at least 1 reception in 164 games played consecutively, and it is the longest average streak in the NFL. Bears and the Colts. Keep eyes on the Bears running game. They have a chance to get better as far as running the ball because the Colts have allowed 237 yards rushing per game the first 2 weeks of the season. So we'll see what they can do as far as running the football. lead to some play action opportunities for Caleb Williams. The Colts focus on the Colts is that quarterback Anthony Richardson has been aggressive through the first two games. It's 49.1%. Excuse me, 49.1% completion rate. Unfortunately, is last among starters. He has a league high 13.7 air yards per attempt. So this could be a potential, big game for him against the Chicago Bears defense because they have allowed league high 12 explosive plays in the passing game for his completions in 2 weeks. Stat knows that Taylor's 41 career rushing touchdowns. I think they refer to Jonathan Taylor. Is Rashad matching most for fourth on the franchise's career list. That's a good game right here. Battle of unbeaten. Texans versus the Vikings. Battle of 2-0 teams. Right, what you look for in this matchup between the Texans and the Vikings. Keep your eyes on the Texas offense for as the Texans are concerned. They will face the Vikings defense that blitzes at the 6th highest rate in the NFL. But CJ Stroud is very good. It's been very good against the blitz so far this season. 117 passer rating against the blitz first 2 weeks of the season. So keep your eyes on the battle of the blitz. Will be a key factor who wins this game. The Vikings. Keep your eyes on. This is an interesting game because this is Danielle Hunter coming back home to play his former team, longtime linebacker. You look at this matchup, the Texans and Vikings lead and found sacks per drop back. So keep your eyes on that as far as the pass rushing aspect of this game. Obviously, again, Houston has they signed Daniel Hunter. Vikings signed Jonathan Greenard and Blake Cashman. So, and also Andrew Van Ginkel, they got from Miami. So keep your eyes on the pass rushing aspect for sacks per dropback. So that knows that quarterback of the Vikings, Sam Darnold, has thrown 2 passing touchdowns in each of the first 2 games of the season. He has never had multiple touchdown passes in 3 consecutive games in his career. Saints and the Eagles, very good game right here. Keep your eyes on the Eagles defense, man. They're among the worst in the league in the 2 games that have been played so far. They're ranked last in allowing per rush, yards allowed per rush, 6.4. Their 35th pressure percentage, 24%, and 31st in yards per play allowed. They're facing a Saints team that scored 91 points first 2 games of the season. So see what happens. They got to show up this defense against the Saints' explosive offense. And for the Saints, keep your eyes on the defense of the Saints as far as dealing with opposing over quarterbacks. Last year, they gave up 5.4 yards per carry. 2023 ranked last. So far this year, Jalen Hurts, the quarterback of the Eagles, is tied for 24th among rushers, rushing for 4.5 yards per carry. So keep your eyes on that. Stat knows that Jalen Hurts is 1 rushing touchdown shy of tying Steve Young, the 3rd most by quarterback in NFL history. Another good game, Chargers and the Steelers battle from beats 2-0. For the Chargers, keep your eyes on the Chargers' leading NFL rusher, J.K. Dobbins, who's running for 266 yards so far, averaging 9.9 yards per carry. But they'll be facing the Steelers, who have been one of the NFL's best, against the run, only allowing 153 yards. So something's going to give for this game as far as run defense of the Steelers against the rushing offense of the Chargers. And then look at the Steelers offensively. I have Russell Wilson and Justin Fields look like he's going to be starting again. But he'll be protected by a rookie first-round pick, Troy Fontenot. Let's keep your eyes on the offensive line of the Steelers against Joey Bosa, and Khalil Mack. The defense has allowed a league best 6.5 points per game in the first 2 weeks of the season. So that knows that Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert has thrown under 200 passing yards in 3 consecutive games dating back to last season. This is the fourth longest streak of his career and the longest by a Chargers quarterback since Philip Rivers did in 2012. Broncos and the Buccaneers. Look at the Broncos. Keep your eyes on their offense, man. They have not looked good. The rookie Bo Nix has not played well. He struggled offensively. The offensive line cannot protect him, and that's going to be the key. Is can the offensive line protect Bo Nix? And for the Buccaneers, keep your eyes on key injuries that they dealing with. Kalijah can't see him Vita V, and also Antoine Winfield Jr. and Luke Godicki with concussion. Also, offensive line got to do better. They did give up 4.5 sacks to Aiden Hutchinson despite winning the game. So that knows that Knicks has a 35% completion percentage, 1.3 yards per attempt, 0 for 3 touchdowns to interception ratio with pressure this season. The Bucks have defensively have blitzed the second most in the NFL this season. Let's get to the 4.5 games. Panthers and Raiders. Panthers storyline, obviously, the benching of a quarterback Bryce Young in favor of Andy Dalton. And this offense has been terrible. No, they don't have one touchdown, scoring 13 points in 2 games. Defense does not play well either. So they got to get it together. The Carolina Panthers, definitely the worst team in the league. Keep your eyes on them, what they do to adjust and play better on both sides of the ball. For the Raiders, keep your eyes on Brock Bowers. He's definitely being a security blanket for Gardner Minshew. So we'll see what happens with that. Carolina's surrendered 10 catches for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns to opposing tight ends. So far, these first 2 NFL games, Brock Bowers is living up to why he was such a great tight end at the University of Georgia, and now he's doing it in the NFL and the professional ranks. He has set a record already for most catches, 15, and most receiving yards with 156 balls as a tight end in his first NFL games. The stat to know is that Dalton made 1 start for the Panthers last season, going for 361 yards on 34 completions, tied for second most in franchise history. The Dolphins play at Seattle, which keep your eyes on. Obviously, Skylar Thompson. You face the tool Tagovailoa because of concussion. So see what Thompson does. That's what you got to keep your eyes on. Also, keep your eyes on Devon Achane. See if he runs the ball against this defense of Seattle. So with Thompson at quarterback, the run defense is going to get tested. In week 1, they held Denver's running backs to 2.6 yards per game, but Seattle did give 185 yards rushing on the ground. So we'll see what happens with that against Miami. Stat knows that since Tagovailoa rookie season to 2020, the Dolphins are 33-20 in games that Tagovailoa has started, 7-9 in games by all other quarterbacks. 4-5 got the Ravens and the Cowboys. Good game. To keep your eyes on this one is that keep your eyes the Baltimore Ravens on how efficient their offense is going to be. They rank first in total yards per game, 417.5, but they're only 14th in the points, averaging 21.5. But the Ravens have a chance to get on track. Game going against the Cowboys have allowed 92 points in the past 2 home games. That's the most over 2-game span at home since 1960. But the Cowboys have got to get it done against the run defense, run offense of the Ravens. You got to stop the run. Simply stop the run. They didn't do so well last week against Alvin Kamara. Had 115 yards rushing, 20 carries. He had 3 touchdowns rushing. So now they got to face Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Henry had 84 yards rushing in the second half, and Jackson had 25 yards. But the key to the Cowboys is that they're good at bouncing back after a loss. They were 12-2, and Dallas hasn't lost 2 straight home games in the same season since 2020. So that knows that the Cowboys are 1-5 all time against the Ravens, their worst record against any opponent in franchise history. both 25, the 49ers and the Rams. Both teams are banged up. Obviously, Cooper Cup picking the pure Rams, and they could be without Deebo Samuel and maybe possibly Kittle. Obviously, Chris McCaffrey's out. So keep your eyes on the 49ers dealing with Matthew Stafford. He's 1-8 in career starts against the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy is doing well. He's 8-0 against NFC West opponents. For the Rams, it's all at the coaches. Sean McVay is 4-10 against Shanahan. Shanahan's 10-4 against Sean McVay. Season. So if San Francisco wins, Shanahan will get his 11th win against McVay. That's the most by any coach against another coach since the two took over 2017. Rams won their most recent match on week 18 of the season, but it was a game in which both teams were resting their starters to prepare for the playoffs. So that knows that since the total QBR was introduced in 2006 by ESPN, there has been 145 quarterbacks who start at least 5 divisional games, and Purdy has the second highest QBR of any quarterbacks, trailing only Peyton Manning. The Lions and the Cardinals. Sam Porter, keep your eyes on him. He's dealing with a situation where he's been very explosive, very impactful in his offense. But again, unfortunately, he's definitely an impact player, but so far, despite the hamstring injury, has not been more involved. 6 catches for 58 yards. So keep your eyes on Sam Porter trying to get more involved in his offense against the Cardinals. For the Cardinals, they are ranked second in the league in scoring, averaging 34.5 points in their 2 games. They scored 41 against the Rams. The Lions are giving up 20 points per game so far. Detroit is very strong against the run, giving up only 76.5 yards on the ground, 3.3 yards per carry. So Arizona is 4th in rushing yards per game, so someone's got to give rushing offense. The Cardinals against the running defense of Detroit. So, see what happens with that. Marvin Harrison Jr., stat knows that Marvin Harrison Jr., 130 yards receiving in the first quarter. Last week was more than his father had in the entire game as a rookie, close to 1996. Then you got the nightcapper, Chiefs versus the Falcons. Keep your eyes on with the Chiefs. They're not playing well against the pass. The Chiefs, their pass team has been not good, very average. They're allowing 256.5 yards in the air. All but the Ravens and Trent McDuffie has been inconsistent. Pass rush gotta be better. So we'll see what Chris Jones do against Kirk Cousins. For the Falcons, their secondary has been solid. Has given up the 7th fewest passing yards in the league playing zone coverage, 76% of the time under new coordinator Jimmy Lake, defensive coordinator. But the Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes is feasting on zones. He has the most yards and passing touchdowns against them in the NFL. So the Falcons have been able to get pressure on the quarterbacks to be a challenging day for their defense, despite them giving up the 7th fewest passing yards. They play zone. But Patrick Mahomes played well against zones. He's thrown 75 touchdowns and 16,486 passing yards lifetime against the zone coverage. So that knows that Patrick Mahomes can set a record for the most wins in his first 100 starts Sunday. He's making his 99th career start. His 76 wins is tied with the tallies of Tom Brady and Roger Staubach for the most quarterbacks since 1950. They finally got the 2 Monday night games. First, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Buffalo Bills. Keep your eyes on Jacksonville. Keep your eyes on Christian Kirk, the wide receiver, who was just targeted 7 times in 2 games. He has 1,924 yards receiving with the Jaguars since 2022, but he's been not targeted that much. He's averaged 7 targets per game the past 2 seasons, so see if he gets targeted more. For the Bills, they'll be without starting nickel corner Tyron Johnson, middle linebacker Terrell Bernard. They got injuries. They're going to be tested. They'll be facing Travis Etienne for the Jaguars, who ran for 136 yards, 2 touchdowns when they faced each other. Um, Last year, 35-yard rushing touchdown. See what happens if you do an encore this time. Since week 13 of last season, the Jaguars are tied with the Panthers for the worst record. NFL 1-7. Followers lost by one score, 8 yards, 8 points or fewer. Then you got the Commanders versus the Bengals. What you keep your eyes on in this matchup is keep your eyes on the Commanders' passing defense. They are very bad, next to last in yards allowed. They allowed 373 yards the first 2 games against opposing receivers, 20th in the league. They're going to deal with Jamal Chase and possibly T. Higgins. So Benjamin St. Just got to play better. See what happens with that, and they got to tackle. They allowed 6 pass plays for 20 or more yards. So, including 154 yards on those plays, 97 had come to catch. The Bengals, to keep eyes on them, is the banged up defensive line. They have to contend with one of the best rushing attacks. Washington is third in rushing EPA, fifth in rate of carries that over 10 yards or more, 18.5%. Brian Robinson Jr. had a good game against the Giants, 133 rushing yards, played well. He's facing the interior defensive line of the Bengals that are battling injuries, so they signed once guys seem to provide depth in the middle. Stat knows that this will be the third matchup in Monday Night Football history between Heisman-winning trophy quarterbacks. It will be the first meeting between 2 Heisman quarterbacks that came from the same college, Jaden Daniels and Joe Burrow. All right, so that's it for the show for the day. Football Friday with Rashad Mitchell. I'll be back next Friday for Football Friday. Recap the games I played, college football as well as NFL. Until then, talk to you next Friday.